Hey guys, today let's see how to make Ajwain Puri, a favorite tea time snack. If you're not a fan of Ajwain, no worries. Feel free to use kasuri methi or even jeera. This snack is absolutely flaky and crispy. We start by using 2 cups of all-purpose flour or Maida. Then add 2 teaspoons of Ajwain seeds. That is 1 teaspoon per cup of flour. We are now going to add about 1.5 teaspoon of salt and then add 4 tablespoons of melted ghee. The ghee is necessary for the flaky texture of the puri. If you like crispy texture, go ahead use oil. Now try to crumble and mix it. It should be able to hold the shape of the flour. That is the point that you know that it is ready. See, like this. Using warm water, make a stiff dough. We do not want the dough to be very soft because then it absorbs a lot of oil. I like to keep this super simple and hence I have added only ajwain and salt. But if you like, go ahead and add some crushed black pepper. Some of the other options to use instead of ajwain seeds are a tablespoon of kasuri methi or a teaspoon of jeera per cup of flour. The dough is not going to be extremely smooth and that is fine. That's how the texture should be. Now we are going to keep this covered for about 15 to 20 minutes. We need about 1.5 cups of oil for deep frying. You can use slightly less too. After 20 minutes, knead the dough a little bit and then make small balls. You'll get about 30 small balls from this amount of dough. If you're a beginner cook, I would suggest that you start by using half the amount of ingredients. That way you can try it out before making a larger batch. This snack is also called as Mathri or Matthi in North India. Once you have used up all the dough, shape it into round balls. Again, the balls will be a little bit cracked and not perfectly smooth. Now there are 2 methods of making the puris. Either roll the dough using a rolling pin. Do not roll it too thin or too thick. A small puri is what we need here. Normally when you drop the puri in oil, it puffs up. We don't need that. So we are pricking it by using a fork. If you don't have a fork, use a toothpick. But do prick it. You can even use a knife. The thickness should be like this. Let's quickly see method 2. Use a seam ball and then using a flatter surface press it into the shape of a puri. It's not going to be very big, but then you can use your fingers and flatten it. Another method is to roll out a larger, very large, like almost like a roti, and then using cookie cutter, cut it into small puris. Of course, you have to prick it with a fork. You cannot skip that step, otherwise the puris are going to puff and not be flaky and crispy. Make sure that you keep the dough covered at all times, including the puris. Heat the oil over medium flame. You know that the oil is ready when you drop a small piece and it kind of sizzles and floats to the surface. That is the correct temperature of the oil. You don't want it too hot. Now go ahead and drop the puris in the hot oil. You can use about 3 to 4 puris at a time depending on the size of your kadhai. You will see that after a few minutes, the puris automatically float to the surface. Do not touch the puris until that time. Once the puris float to the surface, then you can very carefully flip it over so that it cooks on the other side. Remember that the flame has to be on medium throughout the process. Otherwise, you will end up having burnt puris, which you don't want. Flip it over carefully and cook it a few times until the desired color is achieved. See, because we had pricked the puris, it's not puffing up. And this is exactly how it needs to be. Once the color changes to golden, drain it and then remove it on a plate lined with paper towel to remove the excess oil. Continue with the rest of the batch. These puris are flaky or khuskushit as we call it in Konkani. It's not khutkutit at all. Remember to cool down the puris to room temperature before you store it in an airtight container. If you like this recipe, let me know in the comment section. Until next time, stay fit, stay happy, and take care.